Okay, so both of our contracts for the exterior work, the terracotta refurbishment and the historic windows, are underway now, and we're progressing from the west side of the building around the building, and the scaffolding is set up now on the west side, and the work is probably about 90% complete on this side. With the terracotta replacement blocks, we've identified the worst breakage blocks, and we're using a local supplier to replicate the look of the terracotta block. And there's an example of one that's been removed, and it'll be replaced with a replica. And this is an example of where our CMU block work has started in the non-gender change room in level 0. Challenges was in solving the water problems of infiltration into the building. We had to put a perimeter drain, and rather than doing all the excavating outside where we'd run into a lot of unknowns, we're trenching around the perimeter on the inside and putting a perimeter drain that will drain the water down to a sump over in the corner in the southwest. Here's an example of a wall where you see the brick in behind, and the plaster has fallen off. So if you look down this wall, all this has been restored plaster work that has to happen on all four floors, going around the outside of the building and down the corridor portion of the interior wall. So now our rough-in is progressing with our partition walls, our mechanical ducts and sprinkler system and electrical rough-in, and we're progressing from the northwest going around the school. Just from our demolition and restoration work, we had to have shoring up in the whole building, and so we were able to take it down on the northwest, and so we're progressing. We've got approximately a year now to finish from this stage to a finished product for the kids to go back into school. Putting in steel stud partitions wherever an opening comes up, we're getting the jump as much as we can and putting them in, and so it means a little bit of jumping around for the steel stud contractor, but we're pushing for the schedule. So one of the challenges is the existing flooring system, support system. We're trying to keep as much weight off of that flooring system as possible. So we had to put in a uni-strut system that's welded to the new drag struts. And from there, channels going lengthwise, and that's to support the T-bar ceilings and the mechanical and the electrical, and so that it's all supported off the structure rather than the flooring system. All this metal work is new, so they had to bring in all the metal work through this door, in place, welded up inside here, and it's very, very dry, a lot of wood. So we had to make a lot of fire protection procedures in place while doing this work. The skyward ledges are any of the ledges that face up to the sky on the top. We are going to be putting a new metal cladding covering over it and doing all the repointing of the masonry so that there's no water ingress that gets in behind the brick and the terracotta all the way down the structure. This is an example of the old fir flooring, and in most of the school it's coming out. There's 7 rooms there where we're saving the fir flooring and keeping it restored. And there's an example of this room here where we've got it covered up just so that it doesn't get marred and damaged too much. So from the center shear wall to the outside all the way around the building on all 4 floors, due to all the unforeseen, we had to take out the existing fir flooring, and we're rebuilding with the sleepers underneath and then the plywood and then plywood underlay all the way around 4 floors. We're now standing on the outdoor deck of the outdoor learning space. So a beautiful view all the way around the city. This is the entryway into the Learning Commons, and there's going to be a couple of big pivot doors here, and the panels will be carved, First Nation carved panels on the doors. And then shelving, and then all through this back part will be all tables and whatnot with clear glass curtain wall all the way around.
Oh, wow.
So nice space. The Fernwood entrance coming into the school, we're going to have inlaid in the concrete here, and coming up, there are going to be five canoes with paddles that are associated with the canoes that can be installed when there's a function on. And then on the lower plaza, just down here, there's going to be a spindle whorl, and it's a Butch Dick piece of art that will be embedded into the plaza. And so when people are using the multi-purpose room space, if it's in summertime with good weather like this, they could have a performance going on down in the lower plaza, and then the stairs and the seating coming up to the upper plaza is designed where people can sit and watch a performance on the lower plaza.